Hello everyone. So we are at the mid stage of the ICC Women's ODI World Cup 2025. So today is the match between Sri Lanka versus South Africa. Sri Lanka is almost out of the tournament. They have to win each and every match. They can qualify for the playoffs and everything. So Ayan, what do you think? Sri Lanka versus South Africa. First of all, we will talk about rain. Rain, go away, come again next month don't come next day because next day is also the match between Colombo only. So what's your take? Like this can be again a washed out game.
Yes, so first of all, before talking about Sri Lanka versus South Africa, we have to tell you the weather forecast. There is more than 50% chance of rain in Colombo. That is the first weather forecast I have to give. Now, some these weather forecasts are very unpredictable and can go either way. We can have a match, we can have a shortened game. I don't know what will happen, but there's a rain threat even today and tomorrow also. Tomorrow, I think Pakistan are playing New Zealand there. I think I'm not sure, but there also there's a rain threat. So anyway, coming to the match, of course, Sri Lanka will be heartbroken that the New Zealand game didn't happen, the second innings, because they had a pretty decent score, 258, and I felt that 259 chase New Zealand may have struggled on that Colombo pitch when the chances would have happened, but it didn't happen. Rain had other plans and gave New Zealand a point. But I think yes, Sri Lanka definitely will have to. It's a must-win game. They're almost out of it. For me, they're out of it. But yeah, mathematically they're still in the tournament. South Africa have the momentum with them. They're on a three-match winning streak, and out of the two were memorable wins against India and I think it was India and Bangladesh. So it was those were two wins thanks to Nedin Declerc, who played the finishing role. But South Africa are putting themselves in rough waters. They're not really performing up to potential. They're getting managing way to, they're winning ugly, if I may so say. They're just finding ways to win, but they're not. It's not like the team to watch out for. But it seems they'll make the semi-finals because they're on three-match winning streak. They win one or two games here and then they'll be through. They'll be in there. They've got two matches also in Colombo, which again they'll be also nervous. Like, "Arey, whether na jai fir se," because they've got Sri Lanka and then got Pakistan later on. So saying all those things, I think South Africa definitely favorites on my view. But this game can go either way because Sri Lanka knows the conditions at the back of the mind. It's their home. So if the spinners bowl well, and in South Africa we have seen a falter against spin. They faltered against Bangladesh, if you will notice. So then South Africa can be put under pressure and they can be beaten. So I'm giving them a slight edge to South Africa, but Sri Lanka not out of it by any means. I mean, they can surprise South Africa and just blow the tournament wide open. If not for themselves, but for the other teams. That is my view on this match. Good game. Hopefully the rain stays away. For all we know, the rain might be the player of the match for the third time in a row in Colombo.
Yes, it's quite unfortunate. Like the rain is having this final say. Like questions have to be raised by the broadcasters and also the administration by ICC. Like how Colombo was selected. You could have gone to other venues as well, right? There are other venues. Also, Dambula is there. But it was Colombo obsession with Colombo, I guess. They wanted to host all the games at Colombo only. So, Anup sir, your take on the match because these two teams have clashed in the recently concluded Trial series against which featured India, Sri Lanka, and South Africa. Sri Lanka had the upper hand, and South Africa also had a couple of times. It was quite a mixed bag, we can say, the contest between the two teams. What's your take on that?
See, first of all, as Ayan mentioned, there are 50-60% of rain. Now, in prior match in Pakistan versus England, there was 90% chance that rain won't happen. But in the evening, suddenly showers started falling because even rain gods didn't want Pakistan to win a match at Colombo. So today we don't know what will happen because out of so many matches, 4 to 5 matches happened in Colombo till now, two times the rain has become player of the match, and it might be a heavy chance today will be the third time for the rain. So apart from that, seeing these teams, comparing this team on paper, I would give this like 60-40 because South Africa 60 due to the experience they have in form of Laura Woolward, Marijan Cap, etc. And Marijan Tap, Flo Tryon. So they are the experienced players out there. Jasmine Breed, she needs to come up with some numbers because after 100 versus New Zealand, अगले दो मैच में दो डकी है उसने पता नहीं उसके 100 के बाद उसका फॉर्म कहाँ चला गया है सो सेइंग सो And even they have a strong spinning lineup of Malabar, Class. So they have the bowling at place as well. Talking about Sri Lanka has the home advantage. First of all, know the pitch at the back of their mind. Secondly, their skipper, Chamari Attapattu, the most experienced and veteran. She came back to form scoring 53 in the last match. And their openers like Hasini Pereira, she came before the last match. She made 35. Last match she made 44. Then Harshita Samar Vitrama, the new sensation which we call in the Sri Lankan team. She is slowly gaining confidence. And don't forget Nilakshi De Silva. 28 बॉल में 50 मारी थी लास्ट मैच में उसने. So Sri Lanka has the batters who are amongst the runs, and their bowling too is looking strong with the Inora Ranavira. Don't forget the collapse she had versus India. 124 for 6 कर दिया था 5 वहां पे. If not for Dipti Sharma and Amanjot Kaur, uh, Sri Lanka would have won that match. So उनके पास इनोरा रणवीरा नाम पे भी एक्सपीरियंस है. So both teams are evenly matched. On a given day now, I will say which team performs well will do. Saying so, South Africa really has to stitch partnerships from the start. क्योंकि South Africa, though they won 2 matches, they had won out of the gravel because India के खिलाफ 88 for 5 थे, बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ भी 198 for 7 थे, चेजिंग 232. सो वहां से नादिन डी क्लर्क ने इनिंग्स खेल के खेली. लो ट्रायल ने दोनों मैचेस में खेला. मारिजन टैप्स तोड़ा हाफ सेंचुरी वर्सेस साउथ अफ्रीका. सो साउथ अफ्रीका तो अभी ऐसा कंप्लीट परफॉर्मेंस एज अ टीम नहीं आया है. दो दे हैव वन 3 मैचेस, दे वुड बी इन अ सर्च ऑफ वन कंप्लीट परफॉर्मेंस जहां टॉप से बॉटम तक सब कंट्रीब्यूट करे. बिकॉज उनके बहुत सारे बैटर्स आउट ऑफ फॉर्म है. एनेट बॉश करते बैटर है, वो आउट ऑफ फॉर्म है. तो पता नहीं साउथ अफ्रीका की बैटिल कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करेगी. एंड सिमिलरली नाउ द मैच विल बी डिपेंडेंट हेवीली ऑन रेन ओनली. वी कैन सी आइदर पहले बॉलिंग करते साउथ अफ्रीका या श्रीलंका इतनी जल्दी आउट हो जाए कि बारिश आने से पहले टारगेट चेज होते मैच खत्म हो जाए. वरना फिर बारिश आई तो फिर पता ही नहीं चलता थी कब मैच स्टार्ट भी होती या नहीं होती थी. मैक्सिमम 10-15 तक स्टार्टिंग टाइम रहता है. उसके बाद तो मैच कॉल ऑफ ही होता है. So that's the reason, and I've said I think this rain play in Colombo and Sri Lanka would be advantageous to the teams like India and New Zealand, because New Zealand, okay, they are playing one match in Colombo, but India is not playing any match in Colombo. तो अब ये और इवन पॉइंट से पॉइंट्स टेबल भी बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग बन जाएगा. क्योंकि आज साउथ अफ्रीका और ये वॉश आउट हुआ तो साउथ अफ्रीका 7 पॉइंट से ऊपर चली जाएगी. सो द मैच बिटवीन इंडिया एंड न्यूजीलैंड बिकम्स अ वर्चुअल क्वार्टर फाइनल. बिकॉज पता नहीं अब कल न्यूजीलैंड की मैच वहां पाकिस्तान के साथ हो पाएगी या नहीं हो पाएगी. सो दैट इज वेरी tricky situation for New Zealand as well, and they have to face England in their last match, which will be another tough proposition. तो बहुत सारे परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन है जो रेन के वजह से भी आ सकते हैं. अदर 4th and 5th टीम पे आए तो रन रेट भी अफेक्ट हो सकते हैं. सो इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग हाउ रेन प्लेज नाउ. इफ डज इट प्ले क्वाइट अ स्पोर्ट और अ स्पॉइल स्पोर्ट इन द टूर्नामेंट. अभी तक तो स्पॉइल स्पोर्ट ही बना है. लेट्स सी. बट आई थिंक टुडे साउथ अफ्रीका शुड विन. या
Yeah, I'm also backing South Africa to win the game. So आयुष शेखर, आपका क्या कहना है? मतलब बारिश ने पूरा वर्ल्ड कप स्पॉइल करके रखा है. मतलब कह सकते हैं हम, बैक टू बैक रेन इज हैपनिंग एट एवरीवेयर. इवन द फर्स्ट मैच वाज आल्सो रेन अफेक्टेड, बट ओवर्स वेरंट लॉस्ट दैट मच. आयुष, क्या लगता है आपको?
अ, आज का मैच साउथ अफ्रीका जीत सकता है, लेकिन सबसे बड़ा विलेन इसमें रेन बनेगा. क्योंकि श्रीलंका में मैच हो रहा है तो बहुत रेयर चांस होते हैं कि वहां रिजल्ट आए. लेकिन यहाँ रेन, ऐसे समय पे मैच हो रहा है जहाँ रेन बहुत होता है. अब आपने बात की कि सिर्फ कोलंबो ही क्यों दिया, डम्बुला भी दे देता. तो ये आईसीसी का वो फिक्स किया हुआ वो रहता है वेन्यू, जहां पर ये तय किया जाता है कि हाँ इन इन जगहों पे मैचेस होंगे. अब वो पहले से डिसाइड तो नहीं करके रखते कि हाँ रेन आ जाए या अर्थक्वेक आ जाए. इस तरह की कोई चीजें पहले से दिमाग में नहीं रहती. वो तो फिक्स रहता है, फिक्स रहता है. लास्ट मिनट में चेंज करना ये बेकार का सवाल है। और अगर हम साउथ अफ्रीका की तरफ देखें तो नो डाउट अच्छा करते हुए आई है कि हाँ, लेकिन वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाली बात नहीं है कि हाँ कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए, कभी तुम कर दो तो कभी तुम कर दो, इस तरह से चल रहा है।
Yes.
बॉलिंग में मसा बटा क्लास है और मलाबा है। इसकी बॉलिंग ऐसी है कि साउथ श्रीलंका के कंडीशन में अच्छा परफेक्ट बैठ सकता है, क्योंकि वो इस तरह से मतलब साइड आर्म उसका है ना, लेफ्ट लेफ्ट आर्म ऑर्थोडॉक्स, तो उसके एंगल से शायद श्रीलंका के बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स चकमा खा जाएं, नहीं तो अदरवाइज गेम साउथ अफ्रीका के फेवर में ही है। गलती तो नहीं करेगा, एक गलती हो चुका है, यहाँ नहीं कर सकता साउथ अफ्रीका।
Yes, South Africa, they completed a very great run chase against India. It was Nadir de Klerk and Claire Tran, everyone contributed. Even against Bangladesh, it was a nervy run chase. So, yes, they are also not a team on a roll, but they are slowly and steadily getting the points one by one, one by one. So, if you ask about my prediction, I am also going with South Africa. But Sri Lanka win will be something to cheer for the fans, Sri Lanka, the island nation, and everything. So, let's see how it goes ahead. A lot of matches are also aligned up. So, we'll be covering that as well. And yes, to give an update to all of you, Australia vs Bangladesh game, Australia completely easily chased down 199 runs target with 10 wickets in hand and more than 25 overs remaining. It was a dominance, the power, Aussie dominance, we can say Aussie mindset is speaking. So let's see how it goes ahead. We are very close to the semi-finals contest. Next, by the end of next week, we will be having the semi-finals and everything. So thank you everyone. Thank you Ayan, Ayush and Anup sir, all three aces of this video. Thank you everyone. Bye.